Hi everyone, and happy 2026. Welcome to ArtGate-Ink and the Artist Coaching section. This is the first video of my channel and I decided to dedicate it to my favorite people, the artists. So, in this video, I'm sharing a short guide on how to write a powerful artist statement in 2026, the ultimate guide to unblock professional opportunities. So let's start the new year with a new refreshed and updated artist statement. Before I go further, I would like to encourage you to like this video and subscribe to ArtGate-Ink, support the channel and click the bell to be notified for all the new future videos with useful content and knowledge about art. To orient you in this channel, let's see some details about me and ArtGate-Ink. I am Eleni Kosmidou, I am a poet, art curator and cinema expert. I travel to explore art galleries, museums and film festivals and to discover new artists and cinematographers. I believe that contemporary art has to be colorful and cinema black and white. I read and write a lot, that's why I created ArtGate-Ink. The only book I've read twice is A Happy Death by Albert Camus, written between 1936 and 1938. The movie that I can completely identify with is Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch, launched in 1995. I have no favorite visual artist, I love them all. The quote I always keep in mind is contrary action to fear. And this is my wish for you too for 2026. Now, about ArtGate-Ink. ArtGate-Ink was born as a website and a blog for sharing a curated review for modern and contemporary art. Now is my current curatorial activity and job and this brand new YouTube channel that makes me feel really excited. As art has always fascinated me for as long as I can remember myself, I made it my profession, and now I am thrilled to share my insights with you. In this channel, we will discuss modern and contemporary art, art collecting, artists, and of course, we will support artists through the artist coaching section. I will give you a general view of the art world, focusing on increasing our knowledge about art, sharing instruments and tips to help grow artists' careers and art collectors' journeys. Of course, we will complement our interests by talking about cinema and literature. At this point, I'm taking the opportunity to encourage you again to like this video and subscribe now to join our art community, comment to share your thoughts, and of course share this video with fellow artists that the content of this video can be a valuable instrument for their career too. So, our journey today is structured to give you a 360-degree view of the artist statement. I will begin with a look at the contemporary artist's role in 2026. Then I will define what a statement actually is and what it is not. We will explore its strategic importance, meaning that we will attempt to understand the why and the purpose of the artist statement. Finally, we will enter the meaningful and practical part, the guide on how to write the artist statement. I will present some basic introductory rules and suggestions, and then we will design the framework and underline the structure and what every part of a professional artist statement has to include. Concluding, I will share some extra tips and a small comparison between an artist statement and a biography, a bio, to clarify the difference. For every part and concept of this presentation, I will firstly give a more formal background and then I will turn to a more practical language directly connected with the slides and the writing steps. As we had already talked about me, let's go talk directly about you. And by you, I mean the professional artist. After observing what is going on in the art scene of the last few years, my belief is that the contemporary artist of 2026 would be helpful to be updated, multitask and multi-skilled, and of course the producer and manager of her, him, theirself. Some of the things that I'm going to share now, they are going to seem really banal and old, but they are still valued and functional. Some others really new and challenging. In 2026, being an artist is no longer just about the time spent in the studio. As a contemporary artist, you must be a researcher and you must remain up to date about the evolution of physical and digital art and, of course, about the massive role of AI in art production. I do not mean that you have to have a final opinion about AI, being pro or being against, but being aware, having at least a basic knowledge of what it is and what challenges brought in the art world. In my opinion, an artist should also be aware of the global political and financial situation, not only when this is her, him, their research of their artwork's theme, or for activistic purposes, but it is good and useful for an artist to know the world we all live in, and because possibly influences the global art scene and the most important, the art market. Naturally, today's fast rhythm of changes from AI to finances to even political actions requires from you to be multitask and multi-skilled. Be an artist and entrepreneur, a negotiator. Know how to write and how to speak about your work as fluently as you create it. You must be the manager and the producer of yourself, maintaining a constant presence both online and offline, from an updated web page and active social media to networking with curators, collectors, and of course, gallerists. And that's why learning how to write an artist statement is fundamental for your professional presence and your career growth. I know it sounds a lot, it is challenging, but you can do it. Trust yourself, be grateful, and art, art, art. And of course, continue watching a short guide on how to write a powerful artist statement in 2026, the ultimate guide to unblock professional opportunities. Now, let's dive into the notion part of this video and this presentation, which is to understand the artist statement and learn how to write it. Some things I'm going to explain now will seem like repeating as while defining the statement and giving the why and the purpose, we will observe common elements. This is normal as the definition derives from the why and the purpose, in other words, the need that covers. To begin this analysis, we need to define the artist statement as a critical document of intent and not as a mere description. In an academic sense, the statement is a first person narrative that situates your practice within the broader contemporary art discourse. It is a textual manifestation of your creative self. One of the most common pitfalls for artists is conflating the statement with a biography. We must distinguish this clearly. A biography or a bio is a retrospective of your professional history. It is factual, chronological, and written in third person. In contrast, the statement is an intellectual snapshot of the present. It does not focus on where you studied or the awards you won. Rather, the statement focuses on the internal logic of the work itself. The statement translates the silent language of the visual form into a structural language of human thought, serving as the primary bridge between your subjective experience and the audience's objective perception. On this distinction, we will come back at the end of this presentation. To sum up, an artist statement is a written introduction to your work, composed in your own words. Think of it as a bridge between you and your audience. It provides the why and the how behind what you create, helping viewers understand your intentions and the process behind your work. Unlike the bio or a CV, which focus on history and achievements, the statement focuses on the ideas and the physical or digital realization of the art itself. As you can see at the presentation in a shorter version, analyzing what is the artist statement, we find a text that has the purpose to give a written introduction providing the why and how behind your art, the goal to connect the audience with the artist's creative intentions and process, and the focus of the text, to prioritize the core ideas and the realization of the work. After knowing what it is an artist statement, it is very significant to know why it is important an artist statement. Why do we place such heavy emphasis on this document? The answer is complicated and simple too, valid for 2026 and the years will come in my opinion. Because in the institutional art world, the statement is a gatekeeping tool, a ticket to have access as an artist in that institutional art world. Whether you are applying for a residency or a gallery exhibition, your work is rarely judged on visuals alone. Institutional reviewers look for conceptual density. They want to know that your aesthetic choices are backed by a rigorous artistic philosophy and theoretical profound research. An artist and an artwork with theoretical meaning based on research and scientific references or connections. Let me give you an example of an artist driven to produce art because of the climatic change and the relations between human beings and the natural world. If the artist have read some theories that are related to the theme, like Donna Haraway, it can be appreciated. Or an artist that is interested in the rise of technology and AI and the human-machine relationship. It is counted if he had read and maybe had some influences from theorists and experts, academics in other words, that discuss the same topic. For example, the artist produces work that expresses a critical position or question on Thomas Davenport's and Stephen Miller's ideas. Those scholars have the collaboration and augmentation perspective. That means that AI should be viewed as a partner rather than a replacement of human beings, a perspective mostly expressed in their book Working with AI Real Stories of Human Machine Collaboration, published in 2022. Our artist took the time to study and research and elaborate critical thinking, and here their work, their artwork is produced as an invitation for the audience to develop awareness of the machine's capacities and ask questions on how we interact with AI. That was a long example, but I believe it is useful to understand the value that an artist statement can add to an application, to a thematic group or exhibition, for example, in an institution. That's why a well-crafted statement elevates your work from decoration to discourse. It signals to the curators and collectors that you are a conscious practitioner who understands the implications of your work. By providing a concise description of your process, you are effectively providing a user manual for your art. This clarity of communication is what attracts potential collaborators and secures the financial support of grants and foundations. In essence, your statement is your most powerful advocate in the professional marketplace. Now, to sum up, we can say that the artist's statement serves as a vital communication tool, bridging the gap between creative vision and public perception. This concise document articulates the artist's philosophy and technical process. Ultimately, a wirecraft statement is essential for professional advanced facilitating connections with galleries and securing a position in competitive residencies. Giving a look on the presentation, we see in a shorter way why it is so important to have an updated artist statement as a professional artist. The three pillars, the three keywords that you need to keep in mind from this slide about the artist statement's purpose are context, vision, and identity. The artist statement provides context. The contextualization helps the viewer understand the underlying meaning and intention behind your work. No artwork exists in a vacuum. Your statement must explain the cultural, historical, or environmental influences that form your choices. Are you responding to the climate crisis? Are you exploring the intersection of AI and human thoughts? Providing this context allows the viewer to participate in your narrative. Then, the artist statement communicates your vision. articulates your artistic philosophy, goals, and aspirations. It demonstrates that your work is part of a larger ongoing research project. And the most significant for a real growth in your career path is that the artist statement establishes your brand identity. You have the space to develop your unique artistic identity and differentiate your work from others. In the contemporary art market, the artist is a brand. I do not mean to be an archistar or to be a product, but the artist must have a clear identity and a clear strategy to promote this identity. This does not mean commercialization in a negative sense, but rather the establishment of a unique and recognizable intellectual signature. Of course, it is absolutely fine to be commercialized. Art is a paid job, or at least it must be. Your statement differentiates you from the millions of other artists by highlighting the specific research and the unique questions you're asking or you're trying to respond through your work. This is what builds a lasting professional legacy. And of course, unblocks professional opportunities. As I already said, it acts as a crucial tool for securing grants, residencies, exhibitions, and gallery representation. As we already have seen, the purpose coincides with the why, the reason. So sometimes to believe and take action means to repeat the already gained knowledge. However, I will only stay in the benefit for the artist for growth and real career advancement. So let's read this benefit. By articulating your artistic philosophy, research, and process, you manage to specify your unique identity and understand who you are as an artist and what makes you you. The difference that only you have to offer in the contemporary current art scene or art market. Now, moving into the actual writing, we must adhere to several professional guidelines following the content of the presentation. I ask for your attention and concentration. The artist statement has the first person perspective. By using I, you establish an authentic connection. It signals that these are your convictions, not a detached observation. The statement needs to be short. In a professional setting, brevity is a sign of mastery. A statement should ideally be between 150 and 250 words, about 2 paragraphs due to the limited amount of time that whoever reads this statement can dedicate is the best amount of words without being conceptually thin. Personally, I would accept a longer statement if it comes from a well-established artist with years of research that needs space to be expressed. Then comes something really important to keep in mind. Avoid jargon. Avoid the art speak. It's not an exhibition of knowledge, but an accessible text. True intelligence is the ability to explain complex ideas simply. We must avoid international art English, that overly dense, often meaningless language sometimes found in gallery press releases. Instead, use precise, accessible language. Of course, you need to proofread your statement carefully. It's a text that needs to be polished, presentable without grammar or spelling errors. If English is not your first language, first write the statement in your mother tongue and then translate in English. In any case, it is useful to have your artist statement in more than one language. As we are going to see in a more detailed way in the next slide, an artist statement responds to the what, the how, and the why. Keep it in mind, it is the core of what you need to know for writing your artist statement. Another significant parameter is to update your artist statement often, following the work you're doing now. The art statement is a living document and must be a living document. As your work evolves, your statement must be revised. It should be a contemporary reflection of your studio practice today. A very clever thing to do is to seek feedback. Ask a trusted friend, a mentor, or an art professional to review your artist statement. If you would like me to review your artist statement, you can contact me in the email you can see on your screen. Before moving forward and to the slide that is going to give us the practical framework and the real guide on how to write your artist statement with success, I will give you a small tip. If you have been paying attention till now to what we've discussed regarding artist statements and the initial directions on how to write them, keep this in mind, returning to slides 6, 7, 8, and 9, which we are about to see, is enough to understand the why and how of writing your artist statement. If the information feels overwhelming, especially if this is your first time learning this process, stay calm. It's no problem at all. You can always pause the video, go back, or fast forward to the parts that you need to review and take notes on. Keep that in mind. My goal with this video is to help you face that blank page and start writing. Use this to create your structure, organize your thoughts, and begin your first draft. At the end of this video, you will be able to start writing your artist statement having all the tools you need and knowing why you're doing what you're doing. So trust yourself and start writing. And now, into the magic moment where we are going to decompose the structure and the content of the artist statement. That means we will explore the key components of the artist statement. A professional artist statement follows a logical structural hierarchy. When you begin writing your artist statement, it is effective to divide the text into three main categories as shown in the presentation. The first category covers your introduction, personal background, and influences. The second category focuses on your artistic philosophy, themes, subject matter, techniques, and materials. Finally, the third category outlines your goals and aspirations, ending with a conclusion. As you will notice in the slide, I have linked the personal background with the artistic philosophy. This is because these areas are often overlap and it provides a smooth transition from one topic to the other. You will also see that the second category has a dedicated section where I break down the what, the how, the why. This framework will guide you in writing the core of your statement. To draft a professional artist statement, you must move beyond a simple description of your work and instead build a cohesive narrative that bridges the gap between your internal vision and the viewer's experience. The process begins with the introduction, where you must capture the reader's attention using a compelling opening sentence or a thought-provoking question to set the tone. This leads into your personal background and influences, where you briefly share your artistic journey and the specific inspirations that have shaped your perspective. Next, you must define your artistic philosophy, expressing your creative beliefs, values, and the primary driving force behind your practice. You should then transition into your themes and subject matter, explaining the central concepts or specific topics explored into your work. To ground these ideas in reality, you must describe your techniques and materials, highlighting any unique or innovative methods. The third phase of your statement outlines your goals and aspirations, detailing both your immediate short-term projects and your long-term professional ambitions. Finally, the conclusion serves as your final opportunity to reinforce your central message and leave a lasting impression. This ensures that the dialogue between your work and the viewer continues long after they have finished reading. As shown in the guide, the entire structure of a professional artist statement is built upon three fundamental pillars that ensure the audience fully understands your creative intent. The first pillar, the what, requires you to define exactly what the viewer is looking at by identifying the literal subject matter and the underlying themes or concepts explored in the work. The second pillar, the how, focuses on the technical process, where you explain the specific materials and techniques used to bring the art to life. For instance, you might state, I use high contrast cinematography to explore the themes of urban isolation, or I use reclaimed wood to explore themes of decay. Finally, the why articulates the deeper motivation or inspiration behind the practice, clarifying what the artist is ultimately trying to share or achieve. By consistently addressing these three pillars throughout your writing, you create a cohesive narrative that connects your methods and materials directly to your overarching message. Now, we should explain what we mean by subject matter and concept. In the context of a professional artist statement, the distinction between subject matter and concept is essential for defining the what of your work. The subject matter refers to the literal physical content that the viewer sees, such as the specific objects, figures, or senses depicted. In contrast, the concept represents the underlying themes, intellectual framework, or deeper meaning behind those visuals. While the subject matter provides the physical vessel, the concept explains the message you are communicating. For example, using the specific material of reclaimed wood, the subject and medium, to explore the concept of decay, the theme. By clearly articulating both, you bridge the gap between what is physically present in the work and the abstract ideas or motivations you intend to convey. As we approach the conclusion of this presentation, it is essential to revisit the critical distinction between the artist statement and the biography, the bio, as this is one of the most common areas of confusion in professional submissions. To ensure your presentation is professional, it is essential to clarify the distinct roles each one plays. To help you visualize this, imagine that the artist statement falls under the umbrella of intention, while the biography falls under the umbrella of achievements. In terms of perspective, the statement is written in the first person, I create, whereas the bio uses the third person perspective. For example, Jane Doe creates. The focus of the artist statement is the work itself, the concepts, the process, and the meaning, while the bio focuses on education, awards, and professional history. Furthermore, the goal of the statement is to explain the artist's intent, while the bio is designed to establish professional credibility. This difference is also reflected in the tone. The statement is reflective and personal, while the bio is factual and professional. So let's summarize. The artist statement is written in first person by the artist and articulates their unique artistic identity. Its purpose is to present your vision directly to the audience, gallerists, institutions, and curators, while an artist coach or curator can guide you in reviewing and refining the text. You remain the primary author because the statement defines your personal creative beliefs and driving forces. In contrast, the bio is traditionally written by a third person, such as a curator or representative, to provide a more formal image based on professional achievements. In this format, someone else presents your work and credentials. For instance, a curator presenting an artist to a gallerist. While you may occasionally be asked to write your own bio, this is generally not considered best practice, as the bio serves as an external validation of your career milestones. Mastering the artist statement is a journey of transition from being a private practitioner to becoming a public professional. Remember, the statement is about the meaning of your work, while your bio is about your history. In 2026, you need both to succeed in this industry. Now, before concluding today's journey and learning process with this video, a short guide on how to write a powerful artist statement in 2026, the ultimate guide to unblock professional opportunities, let's see some extra tips. While writing, you must be honest, you must be authentic, and you must be willing to experiment with your writing just as you do with your art. Using simple language provides clear context. Never be afraid to let your unique voice shine. Remember, the goal of this guide is not to teach you how to fit in into the art world, but how to clearly articulate why you stand out. Trust yourself, be grateful, and write, write, write. Thank you for watching a short guide on how to write a powerful artist statement in 2026. Thank you for being here for my first video. I hope this helps you unblock new professional opportunities. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of the writing process do you find the most challenging? Is it explaining your why or finding the right words for your how? Let me know in the comments below and I'll jump in to give you some feedback. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our community and share it with fellow artists and professionals who might find it valuable for their careers. If you'd like a professional eye to review your statement, my contact details are on the screen and in the description. I am Eleni Kosmidou and this is ArtGate-Ink, the artist coaching section. Take a contrary action to fear, start writing today. I'll see you in the next video. Trust yourself, stay grateful, and remember, art, 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 and write.